Thought Bubble Audio.
Look, up in the sky!
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Welcome to Beer with Geeks with Tim and Frank.
Who are you?
I'm Batman.
I am Iron Man.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Hi, Christopher. I'm Nero.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
You're a wizard, Harry.
A couple of guys with a couple of beers and a whole lot of pop culture nostalgia.
Make it so, number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
Name the dog Indiana.
Life finds a way.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Now sit back and crack open a cold one, because it's time for Beer with Geeks.
It comes in pints?
Shaken, not stirred.
Great Scott!
I was way off. I knew it started with an S, though.
Hi, and welcome to Beer with Geeks, where two geeks geek out with beer. I am Tim.
I am Frank.
I don't know why I sound like...
I
don't know. What are you drinking? Same thing I'm drinking?
Same thing you're drinking, buddy. What are you drinking?
I am drinking Sam Adams Porch Rocker.
Even though
we
this
are
beer.
not rocking, nor are we on a porch.
I love this beer so much. Like,
why?
so much. It's only available in the summer, right? They only they only make it available during the summer months. They are only putting it out in 6-packs for certain months of the year.
Right.
So for me, this is like a real treat whenever I get to have Porch Rocker. It's got this delicious, it's got the lemon, like zest. It's a little bit tart, but it's very refreshing, very drinkable beer. I could drink this all day on the porch, rocking. And yeah, it's great.
It makes me like summer sleepy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, like when you're rocking in a rocking chair for an extended period of time, and after a while you're like, wow, I feel like I accomplished a lot.
Yeah.
But I accomplished nothing.
Yeah.
Literally nothing. That's kind of what I feel like. Yeah, and that's where we are today.
Yeah, I feel very refreshed whenever I drink this beer.
Yeah.
It just makes me like feel relaxed and just it's delicious. It goes down easy, but it's a legitimately very good beer, like well made beer. I like Sam Adams.
Right. Well, it's good. It comes out just about the time that like all your TV shows are ending.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like May when all the finales
so
start.
now
to
you have
happen.
time to sit on the porch
That's right.
and rock.
That's right.
As opposed to sitting on your couch and still rocking in anticipation or,
Right.
you know, whatever else. But that's where we are.
Are your shows like ending? Are you finding that all your shows are coming to an end?
I think at this point, all of mine are done.
Yeah, I think mine are all. pretty
Well,
much done.
sort of. I mean, I'm in the Game of Thrones and
right.
all those things. But shows that start in the fall season are absolutely over at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I found all my fall shows are all finished too. Were you watching a lot of you? I mean, I know you were watching a lot of the superhero stuff this time around.
By some of it, you mean all the superhero?
Pretty much.
stuff.
You watched a little bit more of it than I did, actually.
Yeah.
You
Well,
watched-
okay. So we've watched Flash.
Yep.
Arrow. Shield.
Mm-hmm.
Agent Carter.
Gotham. You watched Constantine.
I watched some of Constantine.
Okay.
I didn't finish it.
Okay.
And I'm still watching at this point iZombie, which is not which is not a superhero show, so we're not going to talk about it. But it's based on a comic book by Vertigo.
Show. Yeah.
And I love the show. It's
very well received.
It's very Buffy.
Awesome.
That's the best way. I've heard a few other people describe it like that, and I'm not a huge Buffy guy.
Mm-hmm.
Buffy feels like a product of its time.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah,
a
it definitely
lot of it,
is.
certainly. And so I have a hard time getting into it that way as a new receiver of it. However, it's got that instead of the monsters chasing the girl chases the monsters. It's also the girl is also the monster,
right?
Chasing the monsters.
Twist.
Yeah, it's really good. It's clever. It's funny. I could use other synonyms, but I'm not going to. Because clever and funny really sum it up.
They work.
Yeah, I quite enjoy it.
Nice.
So, but it's not a superhero show. So let's backtrack. We watched all of those.
All right.
Do you want to start from worst to the best?
Ooh, worst to best.
Yeah.
Okay. So Worst was probably Constantine.
I want to say
based on-
Constantine because you didn't even watch it.
I didn't even watch it. You
and
did.
it got
so-
canceled.
Yeah.
So
why don't you?
yeah, viewers dictate that it's the worst.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say it was at a slow burn. It felt like a network show, not a creator show. And I think that's the
It felt like it was made by a committee.
yeah. And I think I thought the cast was good. The guy playing John Constantine was quite good. Who's something Ryan something. I'm going to use my one lookup that we established a
That's
couple of
right.
weeks
Yes,
ago.
yes.
I'm going to use my one lookup rule to look him up. I'm establishing it now.
Okay.
You can't stop me. Matt Ryan. Shoot,
Ryan.
I should have figured that out. I knew that.
That sounds like a fake name too.
Yeah,
Matt
I actually
Ryan.
know a Matt Ryan, funnily enough, but he probably doesn't listen to this. So, and so, yeah, so it was okay, but it was the guy playing Constantine was good. Like when if Constantine shows up in a comic now, like he's like that's the voice that I have in my head now. He was that committed, and he looked like it. So that was good, but it just didn't go anywhere for me to be attracted to it. And part of that is that I don't know the Constantine universe. So as a comic fan, I wasn't like I know some of the character names and people. Like some people showed up that I'd be more interested in. Like Jim Corrigan showed up, who's the Spectre, which is a great character. I like that a lot, but he wasn't the Spectre.
Oh,
he was just Jim Corrigan.
Oh,
and so I was like,
yeah, that's less exciting. Then.
It's less exciting. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I'm going to say that one was the worst. I kind of hoped for the fans that it would find legs on some other network, and it didn't. So
that's a bummer.
But you know what? Out of how many comic shows? Let's do this again. Arrow, Flash, Gotham, Shield, Agent Carter, Constantine. Out of 6 shows, one of them is unsuccessful. That's excellent.
Those are pretty good odds.
But never tell me them.
Never tell you that. No, I would never do such a thing.
Yeah, no, because I don't do math. Like Han Solo.
Not unless absolutely necessary.
Yeah. All right, so
so then so you're saying Constantine was the worst.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Constantine is the worst, and then let's together say what we think is the next worst show.
1, 2,
3.
Gotham.
Hey! I almost didn't think that was gonna happen.
I didn't. I kind of thought you were gonna say something else. I don't know what, but
all right.
I just thought your loyalty to Batman would dictate that.
Yes,
Gotham
but Batman's not in the show.
That's true,
and so it subpars a little bit. But
yeah,
here's my thing with Gotham. I do really like it, even though we're going worst to best.
Yeah.
I still really like it. I know you dropped off from it.
I did, but even I have would have a hard time saying that it's it's not a bad show. It's just not a show that I enjoyed the same way I enjoyed the other shows we're going to talk about. So
right, okay, and
it's more pacing for me than anything else, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, here's my thing with Gotham. That's the reverse effect of Constantine.
Okay.
Where I'm watching this show and I'm watching the DC Universe form without Batman, and it feels weird.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching characters become almost, you know what I mean? Well, here's the thing. With a comic book, you get like 2 pages of an origin story and then boom, you're a bad guy, or boom, you're a good guy, or whatever. But with the show, they're like, this is what he was like when he was a kid. And not just Batman, but like the Scarecrow.
Yep.
And to me, that feels weird to do like years of a progression to reach this character, which logically, as like a human being, that's actually how it works.
Yeah.
But, it's not always just one bad day or anything like that.
Yeah.
Despite what the Joker says, it's not just one bad day.
Right.
And so that part feels weird. But on the other hand, so if the show was a little bit more about here's more the story of Jim Gordon, and less about, because as the show went on, it felt a little bit more about like, look what Gotham villains coming to town next.
It became that way. It started out more being like, here's the story of Jim Gordon, like, and the corruption that's happening.
Yeah, and
in
I really
Gotham.
liked that. And like, here's the mob and this and the battle, and
I cared less for the mob, to be honest, but the Jim Gordon stuff I really...
Yeah.
And I
you liked the Penguin stuff.
I was okay with the Penguin stuff. I was okay with the mob stuff insofar as it related to Jim Gordon.
but not as its own entity.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Well, one of my favorite Batman comics is Long Halloween.
Me too, and I like the mob stuff there.
There's a lot of mob stuff. And so I liked how Gotham did feel like a little bit of Godfather this and all the other things. But I don't want to watch Jim Gordon fight the Riddler 15 years before Bruce becomes Batman.
Right. I also don't understand how the Riddler is like 25 years older than Bruce.
That doesn't bother me, actually. Well, if you think about it, let's say he finished college and all that on his own thing, he's probably about 25. Let's just say. Yeah. Enigma's probably anywhere between 23, 25, something like that. Because you can get you definitely get your master's degree and all that by then and your doctorate. And
you can.
Absolutely. And so if you went right through school, and Bruce is 12, and so there's only a 10-ish difference between them.
Yeah.
Which I don't really care. You know, some of them should definitely be close to his age. If, it'd be weird if, like, Catwoman was like 20 years his senior.
Yeah.
That would be weird.
Right. Yeah, no, they were the right ages. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
There are some that are. And like, Mr. Freeze is supposed to be like, Mr. Freeze is bringing in for season 2. I don't know if you saw that announcement.
I heard about it.
Yeah. And so, it's funny. I'm such a double standard because like, I'd love to watch a season of Mr. Freeze like in love with his wife.
Yeah.
Because that adds some, gravitas to the story of him losing her.
Sure.
I just don't want to see him walking around in his cryogenic suit while Bruce is like, I found spoilers for all these shows because I'm about to say something spoilery. So that's it. That was your only warning.
That's your warning.
Okay. So I want, like, before Bruce, I don't want to see Mr. Freeze walking around in his cryo suit, but then have Bruce be like, "I found my dad's secret bat cave,"
right,
or whatever. Now that being said, the Bruce and Alfred stuff in this show is tremendous.
Oh yeah, it's
so
really good, really good.
Yeah, there's even like little things in the show that they threw in that I've never thought about. Like, there's a scene where Bruce is in the study. They're set for Wayne Manor, basically.
Yeah.
And he's like doing a bunch of like dark pictures, or he's like drawing, but he's listening to heavy metal, like grunge heavy metal. And I'm like, I've never thought about that. Like, that's accurate.
It's angry music.
It's angry music. Yeah. He's a 12-year-old angry child who's lost his parents. Like, of course that's what he would listen to.
Yeah.
So stuff like that I really like. And I think everybody, I like the whole cast. Like, I think everyone is their comic book counterpart, and for their age and everything like that. It's just, I just don't want the show just to be like an hour of Easter eggs.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
That's what I felt it became now. And I loved the finale and stuff like that. But
I heard what happened in the finale. It sounded fantastic.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah. Where he finds the Batcave and everything like that's
exactly. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, it's the first time really that, like, the fireplace moves or whatever, and the stairs going down, like, that was the first time I went, Batcave.
Right.
On live action. Like, because I never liked the Nolan Batcave. I've always thought it was like, we put a computer in a cave.
Yeah.
The Batcave,
Yeah. What about, like, Adam West?
It's 60s set.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like the Batcave to me. Bat poles. And whatever else. How does Alfred get down there? Does Alfred ever go down there? No,
There's a service elevator.
Yeah. There's
know.
something about
the
animated series had a couple ways to get down there, but I just love the idea of a bazillion stairs going down a dark cavern into the cave.
Yeah.
And that's what the show ended on. And so, like, that staircase. And I was like, yes, let's go. That's
a pretty good ending, and that's sooner than I would have expected that to happen at the pace they were going. I expected it to be like season 3, he finds the Batcave.
Yeah, that's you had stopped watching, but I didn't think that's what was going to happen. I thought he was going to like fall down the rabbit hole or whatever and find the cave. I didn't expect them to move the fireplace, and his father had already done all that work and stuff like that.
Why do we fall, Bruce?
So we could learn to get back up.
Right.
So I like all of that, and I like that Lucius Fox is coming in as a series regular next season.
Oh, nice.
Harvey Dent is a series regular.
Oh,
next
I hadn't heard
season.
about that.
Yeah,
I heard Lucius Fox was going to be in it. I didn't realize he was regular.
he was in the very last
I-
episode for about
Okay.
2 minutes.
Yeah, I knew about that. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Harvey Dent is in there at all. That's great.
Yeah, he was in 2 episodes.
Okay, cool.
Get it?
Two-Face, two
Yeah.
episodes.
He was a little on the nosy.
Hmm.
Like a lot of the times he was shot at a side lighting, so
Oh,
half his
really?
face was
Yeah.
shot. So it's stuff like that. I'm like, oh, on the nose.
Hmm.
But you're also watching a show with unindoctrinated fans.
Yeah,
And sometimes that's the thing that I, as a fan, have to remember. Like, the show's really, it's for me,
But not
it's
only.
not. They have to say things on the nose. It's like almost like when you watch Avengers,
Yes.
and Dr. Selvig goes, Loki, brother of Thor.
Right,
it's
right,
like,
right.
yes, thank you. But 3/4 of the crowd goes, oh,
Got it.
yeah,
That's why he's burdened with glorious purpose.
yeah. That's good. And so, yeah, so that's my feeling on Gotham. But that being said, I'm definitely watching season 2, even though it conflicts with Supergirl. I don't know what I'm going to
Yeah.
do. Probably going to watch Supergirl over Gotham.
I know I will. I mean,
yeah,
I
well, I'm
might
going to
pick up Gotham
DVR
again.
one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I might pick up Gotham again next season.
It wouldn't be a terrible thing just to binge a couple of them. And then there's a lot of great stuff in, like, I think they kind of figured out what to do with some of their characters. It's got
Yeah.
first season blues. I just don't want
Yeah.
the show to only be like, look, it might be the Joker.
Yeah,
you
villain of
know,
the week, yeah.
I don't want it. Yeah, but a villain of the week like 15 years too early.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
part. But there are some
Yep.
things about the show, like, I would love it. Like, let's say season 2, like, season 2's all still Bruce in Gotham, and at the end of the season, he's like, we're going abroad, Alfred. And then season 3 is like Gotham and the police and the mob and whatever else. And the other is like Bruce traveling, learning stuff. Yes, I want to watch that show. Absolutely.
League
I
of
wanna watch-
Assassins.
Yeah, something like that. Or more
Teenage
than that.
Bruce in League of Assassins.
Maybe not in League of Assassins, but that's not the only place he learned.
I know.
You know, that's
But
the
that's the most
only movie place he learned.
And
Yeah.
it's the one that, because of the movies, it's the one that's in the public consciousness the most.
Right. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's the route they have to
No,
go.
doesn't at all.
No. In the comics, he wasn't trained by the League at all.
Right.
Yeah. Because they're called the League of Assassins in the comics. And
League of Shadows.
Yeah. Are you aboard in the darkness? I messed up that line. Is what I did. Go it again. Roll it again.
Actual audio. It's on Hardy.
Yep, we plugged that right
Yeah,
in.
yep.
Yeah. Roll
Seamless.
it again. I have to go be in Cars next movie. Yeah. But not the movie Cars. That was Pixar. All right. Anyway. And so that's Gotham.
That's
as
Gotham.
people are starting to call it.
God ham?
Yeah. I don't know why that's a funny joke.
I think it's funny.
Gotham?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
All right.
I'm such like know what it is? Like, no, like if I went to you and I was like, it's Metropolis, you'd be
Yeah.
like, it's Metropolis. I hate
Right.
you so much right now, you know?
Metropolis.
Yeah, exactly. The people, like, you know what I mean? That's why. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually saw a thing on Instagram today. I should have sent it to you. It was a bat symbol on one side and a Superman symbol on one side. It said, there are two kinds of people. Which one are you?
I like it.
I did like it. In fact, I hearted it as you do on on the Instagram.
Double tap to like.
You know, I never double tap. I just always click the heart. I
Oh,
don't
like
know why I
always.
double tap.
I like always double tap.
I never do that.
This
I feel
is
like
why
I
you
can
and
double.
There are two kinds of people.
There are people who click the icon, and there are people who double tap.
Which type are you?
Arguably, the type that does less work because mine only requires one tap.
I guess. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay. So this is fun though. Let's go to the next.
Okay. Next worst show.
Yeah.
Okay. So, or next best show. So what shows do we have left? We have Flash, Arrow. I know we keep doing this. Flash, Arrow.
Well, we're reminding people. It's
That's
okay.
true.
There are no visual cues.
Right, that's
Unless
true.
people were there at the beginning of the episode going, okay, write it. Nope.
Right,
Say it
take
slower.
notes.
Yeah. I got to write it
Taking
down.
notes.
How do you spell shield? You know?
Yeah, okay,
I
yeah.
before E. So.
Flash, Arrow,
Shield, Agent Carter.
Okay.
Yeah, because we discussed
Yeah.
we're not doing iZombie, even though I
Right.
already discussed it. We did Constantine and Gotham.
And we did Daredevil in its own two-parter. So.
Exactly. Which Netflix shows I'm not counting in this juncture right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I
So,
would.
even though that would
it,
probably be number
yeah, I would definitely
something high. Something high. I didn't know what it was, or something low. No, I love it. I'm just kidding. It would definitely be something high.
I would have included Daredevil in this if we hadn't already done its own dedicated shows. So.
That's true.
Okay, so the next best show, in my opinion, was ready.
No. The next worst show.
No, we already did worst. Now we're going to best. Gradually getting to better and better.
Right. Oh, yeah. So, well, I guess if we did it the way I just said it, it'd be like the least worst show, which is the negative way to say it.
The next show.
The next show, moving up the scale, is
1, 2, 3. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes!
We are insane.
Friendship.
We are insane.
All right.
Yeah.
Friendship.
I actually, thinking back on it,
Just
I might even reverse Gotham and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in terms of best and worst. It kind of depends on what day you catch me on.
I actually almost did too, and I have a very particular reason why I think that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is better.
Proceed.
Yes. But we're going to talk about No, we're not. We're talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought we were going to talk about Agent Carter, but we're not. Because that's a number yet to be decided.
Correct.
Here's the thing with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's got better fight choreography. And I don't no, that's not the only reason.
I mean, that's a reason.
They're totally different shows. That's not comparable.
I was like,
that's such a crappy reason.
That's the reason you're going with? I'll hear you out.
Gotham makes me nervous when I go, like, you see something, you're like, oh, you're introducing, the Joker way before you should, or, something like that. And, like, I don't have that worry with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
And then, when I get to watch characters that arguably you would never see in live action form.
That's
I'm watching Mockingbird run around, for God's sake,
right, Right.
That's awesome. Who'd ever thought that?
So what you're kind of saying is you're less invested in the characters, right? Like the Batman characters, you're very invested. So if they do something wrong or too early, you do take it more personally.
Yeah.
And the other thing is it's kind of a bonus because it's like, okay, cool. Like I wouldn't see these characters otherwise, so it's just cool to get to see them, even if they're not handling them the best way they could.
Exactly. But I do really like the way that they're handling them. And so I really like super spy stuff anyway.
Yeah. I do. I like super spy stuff to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Like I know James Bond types. I mean, you like James Bond too.
Yeah.
But I feel
it's
like
Coulson. Agent Coulson.
Agent Coulson. I know his first name is Agent. But
that's why I said Agent. Yeah.
I do think I don't know. There's something about the show. I think it's that they're just. It feels like they're padding out the story and they're making it last like as long as they can. I feel like the actual Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. concept was kind of abandoned a long time ago, like halfway through the first season when
Winter Soldier
happened, right? So they haven't really been able to go back to that. And they tried this season by having, okay, now there's two again, spoilers. There's two shields and there's also Hydra, but there's two shields and one of them's the real shield and they both think that the other one is a fake shield. And
see, I liked all of that too. To me, that felt like a logic. Like, yeah, that would happen. Fury didn't talk to anybody else. Of course, there are going to be other people who were involved in S.H.I.E.L.D. that would try to keep it going.
But again, pacing, I think it felt like maybe like a long movie.
Yeah,
enough
some
story
episodes were very slow.
A lot of filler. A lot of filler. Yeah, and I do think this season overall was better than the previous season as a whole.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's still just like the show doesn't grip me. It doesn't make me feel like I need to watch this live. I don't think I watched a single episode live this season. I DVR'd everything, and I caught up 2 weeks later on just about everything.
I watch some live, but normally I'm busy on Tuesday nights, and so that's normally why I didn't.
But like I'm busy on Tuesday nights, but I make time for Flash, which is also on Tuesday nights.
Right, but I'm less busy between the hours of 8 and 9 than I'm between. It sounds so sketchy. We record on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, like bam.
There's nothing secret about that.
Nothing secret about it. Tuesday night is our night to record, to be friendships.
Right.
And so, but sometimes we'll watch Flash together, but, it gets a little bit later, 9 to 10 and all that stuff. So, that being said, it's so funny when you watch like you hear fans talk about the CW shows and or just all the DC shows, and they're like, they're not connected to the movies, but they should be. But then you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they're like, these are connected to the movies, and it slows it down. I'm like, you do hear your argument, right?
I think that Daredevil did that better. The light touch of a connection to the movies.
Yes, but Daredevil is set arguably anywhere between Avengers 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Where Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is very strictly in this time. It's locked in a time period.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
because you have to progress them through the year. You can't have 22 episodes where it takes place in the fall.
Right.
Well, you could, but they don't do that. Yeah.
They decided to keep it in lockstep with the films. The chronology of what happens in the films affects what happens in the show. I just think that
sometimes
it's
a good thing. Like for Winter Soldier, it helped tremendously.
It's seamless.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yes,
in my personal opinion, the show moves too slowly. It just moves too slowly for me, and it really doesn't have anything to do with the films. They could still have those same tie-ins with the films, but everything that happens between the films, like there's not a lot happening and not happening very fast. I like what's happening. I like what they're doing with the Inhumans and everything. I just don't think that it's happening fast enough, and they're just protracting it out over half a season.
See, it's funny because I thought the first half of the show up to the mid-season finale was excellent.
Of season
two.
Yeah.
I was so into Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D. and
I
this
like
and that. Like, that's the show I wanted to watch from day one.
Mm-hmm.
And then the finale was great, and then I thought it kind of came to a halt with the Inhumans.
I'll tell you the truth. When they picked up after the mid-season break with Agent Carter, right? They picked up S.H.I.E.L.D. again. I didn't remember anything that happened in the first half of the season anymore. And it was only like 8 weeks or something, 2 months maybe.
Yeah,
2.5
8
months?
weeks because there were 8 episodes of Agent Carter.
There you go. I didn't remember like hardly anything that happened before. And they did like the previously on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I was like, okay, yeah, I guess I remember that. And I guess I remember that. But like,
oh, that's funny because I did remember a bunch of them.
I just didn't feel as invested anymore after. And I enjoyed that first half of the season. I did. But I just didn't. I don't know. There's something not sticky about that show for me. And last season, this season, I've seen it improve. I have definitely seen it improve. Now I just wish they would tighten it up a little bit and make it a little quicker. For me, that's all it would take.
No, that makes perfect sense. I'm not arguing your point, and I'm not arguing that it's a perfect show either. That's why it's on. It's third up from.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's funny because Gotham I would watch live, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I wouldn't. So maybe I would reverse them upon thinking about it. Maybe that nervous thing isn't enough to swap them.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's fine.
Yeah. It's close. They're kind of tied. It sounds like we both have similar feelings where like they're kind of interchangeable in terms of where they are in the list. So maybe they're kind of tied.
I would say that, yeah. Okay. Which is fine. I mean, they're definitely totally different types of shows, and that either helps or hinders. But I like the cast. I'm invested. That's it. I think I'm just invested at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am too.
And I liked, but see, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of edges in some way just because these are made up characters for the show, and they have made me care about these characters that I'm watching characters on Gotham that I'm like, I already know Jim Gordon. I already know Harvey Bullock. Like these are characters that I come invested into. And besides Agent Coulson, that was it. And, from the very first season. And then, of course, we get people like, you get people like Mockingbird and all that, whose real name I can't remember. Her character name. You want to use this? This is going to be your lookup.
This will be my one lookup, yeah.
Okay. Yay. Bobby. Bobby is her name. Yes. I don't need her. I don't need her actress name.
Oh, I thought you meant the actress name.
That would be. I mean, I'll take it, but it does. You don't have to use your lookup for this. That's okay. She was going to be Wonder Woman in that awful pilot.
Yes.
Yeah. Not her fault.
Nope.
She probably would have been good, actually. Especially watching her on S.H.I.E.L.D. I was like, you'd actually probably be a good Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Maybe not on that show.
Adrienne Palicki.
Yes, thank you.
I've known her.
Night Lights. Yeah,
she was on. Yeah, in Smallville. Back, she was the
right. Yeah,
she was the fake Supergirl. Yeah,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Why don't we pause here and we'll pick it up next week again with the second half of our list. Does that sound good?
Yeah, it does sound good. That sounds good.
Where can people find us on the internet?
The people can find us on the internet at Beer with Geeks for Twitter. They can also find us at gmail.com, Beer with Geeks, but you do that in the reverse order. Yeah, you do.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can find us at beerwithgeeks.com or facebook.com/beerwithgeeks. Billy D. Williams says, it's time to go.
What have we here?
Yeah. Oh, where'd you get that great space cape? All right. All right, now. And anything else? I do a terrible Billy D. Williams.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad. You just need the right words. That's all. But
Yeah.
we'll be back next week, and we'll talk about the second half of this list and our top 3 shows, I guess, of the 2014-2015.
Do we have 3
season.
shows? 4 shows left. 3 shows? 4 shows. I don't know. It's a mystery. I don't do math. Cheers.
Cheers.
This podcast is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. All character names, sound effects, and quotes are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Thought Bubble Audio Studios unless otherwise indicated.